Days like today, guys, call for not one, but two double espressos, and you're about to see why. Look at this, man. We gave back all of the gains in the stock market from yesterday, from after Nvidia's earnings. In fact, we're now down. We're down across the board over 1% on every index except for the Dow and the S&P, which those are up about 0.75% each. So guys, cheers. You now know why I have my second double espresso for the day. This is nuts. So we're down again across the board after we got Nvidia's earnings yesterday, which by the way caused Nvidia to go up to almost $200 a share. It brought up the entire market. This morning we were up across the board, and well, it did not last. And we're going to cover the charts. We're going to break down what's going on and overall where my head's at. We'll break down SoFi, some news we got as well today. So let's dive into it, man. The VIX right now is up 9%. We're down again across the board on these indices. QQQ's down 1.3. S&P's down 0.75%. The Russell's down, let's see, the same roughly. The Dow's down the same. So we are down big time right now. And it's not like we got bad earnings from Nvidia, obviously, right? We got very good earnings from Nvidia, but the market is selling the news still, right? And I mean, there's more than just that. Let's cover what's going on with this delayed labor data that we got, what's going on the charts here. And by the way, SoFi, on a side note here, we'll cover SoFi a bit in this video, is down 4%. And we went from 28.50 this morning. Now we're at 25.75. We hit the low 25s about 10-20 minutes ago. So SoFi at this point, guys, is down 10% from the intraday high, and we're pretty much right back in this little downtrend that we've been in over the course of this month. It's essentially continuing, right? So we had a nice pop even in SoFi stock. Again, the entire market ran, rising tide lifts all ships, but it didn't last. It ended up being a fake out. As you guys can see, we got hit at the 180 SMA on this 1 hour chart right at a lower high, and essentially we just hit a fresh lower low here on the 1 hour chart. We hit 25.28. And, you know, the downtrend, the red throughout the entire month is continuing, right? So before we dive deeper into SoFi, let me show you the delayed labor data, or just the data in general we got, right? Non-farm, we got unemployment rate. Let me show you that right now. We can see here that came in at the delayed September report showed the U.S. added 119,000 jobs, more than expected, and the unemployment rate went to 4.4%. So coming down here a little bit, you guys can see the U.S. economy added substantially more jobs than expected in September, according to a long-awaited report on Thursday from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And obviously, you guys know the what's it called? The government was shut down for the longest time ever, so we didn't get certain pieces of information, reports. This was one of them. The non-farm payrolls increased by 119,000 in the month, up from the 4,000 jobs lost in August following a downward revision. The Dow Jones consensus estimate for September was 50,000. Think about that. And the July total also was revised down to 72,000, a decrease of 7,000 from the prior release. And in addition to the headline jobs number, the BLS said the unemployment rate edged higher to 4.4%, the highest it's been since October 2021. Think about that. Let me say that again. The highest the unemployment rate has been since October 2021. It went up to 4.4%, right? And coming down here, and oh, by the way, it says here a broader measure that includes those not looking for jobs or working part-time for economic reasons edged lower to 8%. And you guys can see here this chart. Let me make my big old head a bit smaller. We can see here the monthly job creation in the United States. It's obviously come down over the last couple of years after we kind of came out of that pandemic, which a lot of this was kind of artificial. These are jobs that, they were created, but these were jobs that were just simply lost during the pandemic and they're coming back. So it's not like They're brand new, fresh jobs, right? So that's a little bit. You gotta keep that in mind when you're looking at that data. And the average hourly earnings increased 0.2% for the month and 3.8% from a year ago, compared to respective forecasts for 0.3% and 3.7%. And the report ends a data drought on the labor market that began in early September and continued through the record 44-day government shutdown. So September's jobs report shows the labor market still had resilience before the shutdown, beating payroll expectations, but the picture remains muddy, with August jobs revised to a job loss and the unemployment rate increasing, said Daniel Zhao, chief economist at job site Glassdoor. He said these numbers are a snapshot from 2 months ago and they don't reflect where we stand now in November, right? So there's a little uncertainty here, Oh my God, the unemployment rate, 4.4%. They revised the numbers down for August. There's a little uncertainty that we're in a weaker, market than expected with that unemployment rate coming up, you know what I mean? And traders also continue to bet that the Fed will not lower rates further at its December 9th through 10th meeting. So these are a couple of things working against the market right now. Yeah, Nvidia came out, gave us some great numbers. We got confirmation, certainty that the AI trade is not over, even though we're selling off again today. We got confirmation it's not over, but then we get this news, that, and we've known that we're getting this news today, but it came in, they added a decent amount of jobs, right, in September, but the fact that unemployment rate went up, right, the fact that they revised August lower, it's causing a bit of uncertainty, like, oh my God, what are these October numbers going to look like when the government was actually shut down? What are these November numbers going to look like, And that is kind of, bringing down the market in the face of these good earnings from Nvidia. And that's kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes, guys. It is what it is, And we've seen this happen with Nvidia before, too. It's not out of the ordinary. The fact that Nvidia is selling off after earnings, good earnings at that. We've seen this happen time and time again. I mean, look, if you pull up the 1-year chart or maybe the 4-hour chart, you'll see it a little better. I'm pretty sure last time they reported, the stock sold off a little bit, only to then rip to all-time highs. This goes on, not every quarter, obviously, but it happens. And you have to focus on the fundamentals, not this short-term sell the news price action. Focus on the fundamentals, and that will point you to the fact that, Nvidia, they're still looking very good. They guided up for Q4. They crushed EPS revenue. The Jensen made some good comments. Things are still looking good. And the fact that we're selling off today, I mean, I kind of said this in my YouTube, in my long form video last night. With Nvidia, I said, guys, just because they reported great numbers doesn't mean it's just going to rip straight back to all-time highs. It's going to be rocky a little bit still. There's a chance that, we might see more of this for a week, right? And then ultimately we start ripping back up. The market takes time to digest earnings sometimes. Just because we got Nvidia's earnings doesn't mean now that all these AI stocks are just going to go right back to highs like that. It takes a little time for earnings to be digested, and that's what we're seeing now. And Nvidia is down 0.9%, barely down, and earlier it was up a ton, obviously. So there's still a great chance that this goes towards $200 plus this year, in my opinion, right? And SoFi, it's looking juicier and juicier, man. The more it gets deeper into the 25 low mid 20s, now we're in the 25s. The more I am interested in buying more shares. You guys know I've been in SoFi for 2 years now, 3 years, and I told you guys before, I'm looking to add swing trade shares in the 26 range. But if this channel breaks, which as of now it kind of looks like it's slowly starting to do so, right? If it fully falls through that, I'm gonna add to my long term. In the low 20s. If it somehow gets back to the high teens, I'm going to add more SoFi shares. That's my plan, though. But for now, I'm just holding on, letting the market do its thing as clearly we're shaking out a little bit. Sell the news event after Nvidia's earnings. We got this delayed labor data, or the non-farms data, right? There's a lot going on, and this is why I also said yesterday I am not going to take a swing trade until next week, until Monday, Tuesday. I want to wait and see what the market does with these earnings. Give it a couple of days, let it play out, and yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not buying more stocks today, at least yet. I haven't bought any. I'm just sitting still, sitting patient, and letting the market do its thing. Buying stocks aggressively every day. Some people can do that. If you have millions of dollars. I'm not there yet, guys. I don't have millions and millions of dollars yet. But, people that have endless cash flow, it seems like they can just keep throwing money in every day. But listen, I've been throwing in a good amount of money. Don't get me wrong. But now I'm like, okay, I'm going to just sit on my hands and give it a couple of days, because I don't want to get too crazy. I don't want to go too crazy just in case. What if we're early in a bigger crash? I don't necessarily think that, but that's always in the back of my mind. Like, oh, what if the S&P goes down another 10%? Be patient, Stas, right? That's what's going through my mind right now. Not necessarily that I want that to happen or I think it's for sure going to happen, but it's always something to keep in the back of your mind. Like, oh, the market could always get worse. Keep that in mind. Also be buying stocks, dollar cost averaging, but always have in the back of your head like, oh, okay, the market could come down another 5-10%. What's that going to do to my stocks? You got to keep that in your mind, guys. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I've been buying a lot of stocks. You guys know, you watch my videos. I've been buying stocks pretty much every day, it seems like, throughout November. I mean, it hasn't been every day, but dang near every other day, right? And at this point, it's like, all right, I'm going to hit the brakes a little bit. We got Nvidia's earnings. Let's see what the market does with it, and then I'll revisit next week. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, guys. And I'm still obviously an investor in this market. I'm not selling stocks. I'm not running for the exits. If anything, man, again, I'm buying a bunch of stocks to the point where it's like, all right, I might need to slow down now and, breathe a little bit and see what happens next week. But I'm still going to be a buyer. I guarantee you guys, well, I am going to buy. I buy stocks every week, right? I'm putting money in every week. So, yeah, I'm going to buy more stocks next week, but I'm going to keep it chill these next couple of days, see what the market does, like I said, and we'll go from there. So, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, join the Patreon if you want to keep up with what I'm doing in my portfolio, the Discord. You get more access to me throughout the weekday. All of that is on Patreon, link down below, pinned in the comments as well, or go to stasurfest.com/Patreon. You know where it is if you want to join. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you in the next video.